Hey there, I'm Dr. Ruth Roberts, your pet's ally. Hope that you are all well today. We've got some great questions. The first one is about the flea collar thing. So let me jump back in and address that. Again, I had a few minutes to do some research. And let's see, let me pop over here. So May's asking about that, and then Susie is sharing that same article that's going through USA Today. And here's what I'm finding out. So I hopped over to Vin because it didn't make sense to me. And what's happening is there's a couple of things going on. They think that what these folks are saying is that they've received tons of complaints, but the EPA has done nothing to inform them. But the problem is that all of the issues are very, very random, as they're saying. So, like ranging from a ruptured eardrum to liver failure and heart problems, that just doesn't make sense. And so, this doctor from the ASPCA Poison Control Center said that it just doesn't make sense that the collar is involved, but it's more of the collar is on the dog, and so people blame the collar. And this is what I found in practice, is that somebody could have been using a product for months and months or years, and then all of a sudden it's a big problem. And sometimes that was the case, and sometimes it wasn't. And then the other concern is that they may, if indeed the collars are involved, that they're buying counterfeit collars as well. So they mention a couple of ways to know who's selling what. And so here are the real problems that come from Seresto collars, and the majority of these cases are coming from pets who ate the collars themselves. So again, ataxia, wobbliness, tremors, things of that nature, and vomiting. So this makes me feel a little bit better, and I will take a look at it, but fake collars seem to be more of the issue. And so they included a helpful site called Where to Buy, which is this. So we can look in here and check out Seresto. And look up Seresto collars for dogs. And we'll go with the Uber. So that will show us kind of where we can buy it. So, it's giving you online resources as well as local resources. So if we actually were in Sioux Falls, we could go to Lewis Drug, which I've been to, and purchase it there with a surety that we're actually buying the real deal. So I hope that is helpful for you. Let me pop these links in so you'll be able to refer them back to them. So here is the Vin article on Seresto collars. And then here is this Pet Basics Where to Buy link as well. But I think that's helpful because unfortunately, we're going to see issues with fake products on again, off again quite frequently. So I hope that is helpful. And Hayo had to come back and help me some more. So let's see, let me pop back to the group. And so Susie, I hope that's helpful. I feel Yeah, and Lolly shared the same one too. So I feel pretty confident that this is not an issue with the collar, but as human beings, we want to have a clearly laid out cause and effect. Like, I did this and it caused that. And as pet owners, when we can't explain the reason for something happening, people more and more want to blame stuff that really isn't at blame. So, I can't imagine the heartbreak that woman experienced, but it just doesn't make sense. So I think what we sometimes forget is that, like the Rimadyl, when it first came out, and there was a woman on John's Island whose dog died. And it was truly as a result of Rimadyl, but more importantly, it was a result of her veterinarian not recognizing that her dog was 12 years old, and that maybe, just maybe, we ought to look at liver enzyme values and see if there's an existing problem, instead of just handing out powerful drugs like candy and not recognizing that there's going to be any side effects. So with any medication, if your pet has a sensitivity to pesticides, maybe this isn't a great option. So you just really have to think things through, and get your head wrapped around it, and take some responsibility. So I hope that's helpful. Now, Karen is asking about dog knee braces. And this is one that I had used in practice. There are a ton of them out there. But I think it's a great option for dogs that you're trying to heal that knee by sort of rest and, the way that we would do it on the human side. They're actually trying really hard not to take us to surgery anymore, because what they found is that at 6 months for an ACL or a tear, they're finding that at 6 months, the outcome for people that did physical therapy versus surgery is virtually the same. And so I think this is a great way to go. We did this for one of our dogs, Ollie, who tore both of his cruciates when he was younger. And this helped tremendously. I wasn't smart on the first time around, but the second time around, this made his recovery much better. So there's a ton of them out there. This is the one that I used in practice because we got consistent results, but there's a boatload of them out there, and I think you can go through and do the research. So that's a great place to start, Karen, and good to hear from you again too. I'm glad to hear from you. I'm sorry your pets are having problems though. And then further to that, unfortunately, Karen has pitties that love to have joint issues. And I hope Hank is doing well. Man, he had a tough row. So Crystal has been having issues with some injuries at her spine that looked really cloudy. And Karen, you're always welcome to paste copy X-rays up into here too. They correspond to some scars and things of that nature. And so, it's like everything. We do things in our 20s and 30s that we pay for in our 50s and 60s and beyond. So currently she's on gabapentin, carprofen as needed, and then Arthro-Ease at a half a teaspoon per day, and she's about 40 pounds. So what else? Yes, turmeric is a great natural anti-inflammatory. This is, again, where I think CBD can be very helpful, and probably for Dino as well, to just kind of cool things down quite a bit. So you can look at, for chronic arthritis, certainly. So the company I'm working with, and I'm very pleased with their products, and I'm hearing back from my consulting clients that they are pleased as well, is CBD Dog Health. And they have a product called Ease, which is CBD plus frankincense and myrrh. So I think that is a great option. I'll drop that in the comments here. But that's, I think, a great place to start controlling inflammation. And then look at handsome Dino. He's trying really hard to hold still, and it's hard. So I would definitely check that out. And again, if you're searching for the previous Q&As and not finding stuff, heading over to the website in the course area is one of the best bets. So we'll get that up there. Oh, I guess I did that twice. Oh well, no, I did it once. Good for me. Okay, cool. Let's see what else we got here. And let's see. So I think we are getting down to Kathy's question. And Kathy is asking about grain-free diets. And I am not seeing anything very recent, Kathy. I did some searching very quickly, but let's see if I can find you there. So here's what I think are the issue with grain-free diets. So the commercial ones that are in the bag are 65 to 70% of the calories are made up of legumes, of beans. And this is what I think is happening. It seems to be an issue in certain breeds, and specifically the golden retriever. But what I believe is happening is that there are a ton of anti-nutrients in legumes, and cooking helps to remove a terrific amount of them. So here's an article about grain-free food, but you'll notice that they're calling this boutique exotic grain-free diets. And so what they're saying is that it was linked to dilative cardiomyopathy and blah, blah, blah. So what I think is happening is that in the process of consuming so much legume, that is what is preventing the absorption of certain amino acids, and in particular the ones that are essential, meaning you have to consume them or you have to consume a sufficient amount to get them in there. So here's that article. So I think for what you are feeding your girls, this is not an issue because we've got about 30% of the diet in legumes, not 65 to 70%. And there's plenty of other macronutrients, the protein and the fats and things of that nature, and the veggies, which are also part of that 30%. So I don't think in a cooked version where you are controlling the percentage of legumes as a portion of the diet, I don't think that this is an issue. I have not heard of anybody having an issue with the exception of feeding the bagged food. So I hope that makes sense. I mean, because let's face it, folks, in most of the world, beans are a staple in the diet, but in America we have managed to turn them into evil incarnate. And I think that's just not fair. So it's like nobody should ever eat peas again because they're toxic. And I don't think that's right. Should you eat 70% of your diet is peas? No, absolutely not. The other thing that is sort of a thing is that we tend to say, oh, this is the new superfood, and so we eat a ton of it, even though it may be something that's meant to be an esoteric part of our diet. So for instance, blue-green algae, that was a big thing in the 90s. It was the greatest, newest, thingest, wonderfulest stuff out there. Well, it turns out that Lake Klamath, and I'm here to tell you this because we actually rented a house on Klamath Lake, is in the summertime, because of the heat, the algae becomes so toxic that you cannot swim there. So I think that we need to get back to everything in moderation and everything within reason. So I hope that is helpful. And then Lolly posted the page for the turmeric support group. And, I think turmeric is a great thing, but again, everything in moderation. And I think that, and it's done great things for her Scotty, which is awesome. But turmeric is a great anti-inflammatory, so all good stuff. but we tend to focus on something as being the thing and discard everything else around it. So I hope that makes sense to you all. Let's see if we've got some other ones in here. I think that's really it. So not a ton of questions today. Let me just double check my sheet that Hannah made so I don't forget anything. And I think we're good. So that's what I have for you this week. Until next week, take good care of yourselves. We've got some very exciting changes coming for Ipets Ally that I think you're going to enjoy, and we'll be announcing that by the end of the month, so keep your ear posted. Now, Debbie said she's opted out of Facebook with good reason, but she said that she's not getting notices about the broadcasts. And so if you are not getting a weekly email, please let Hannah know. And here's what may have happened. We send marketing emails, and if you opted out of email, that means that you will not receive any emails from us. So we're working, so if that's the case, let Hannah know that you would like to get the notices about the broadcast, and she will get you opted back in. Sorry, so we'll get that up there for you. So just let her know that you want to get opted back in. I did some affiliate offers for a lot of these things, the truth about pet food, the truth about cancer, all of that. And what I found was when I did those, that's when the unsubscribe rates went really high. So going forward, unless I think there is something that will really be valuable to you, I'm going to avoid doing those things. So for instance, the Dog Care on Air thing, if you missed out on that, go check it out, because it really was a lot of fun. It's still free on their Facebook group, and I think that was a great way to go, because unfortunately a lot of these things, like you can go watch it for free for a week, and then there's a replay weekend and blah blah blah. It doesn't work anymore. And so they had a ton of great information on there. They're really doing some good stuff. So hopefully this is helpful to you. We will also be setting things up with the emails so that if you only want to receive information about broadcasts or about products you've purchased, then that's easy to do. So take good care until next week, and we will see you. Keep the questions coming. Many thanks. Take good care. Bye.